So what we have in the garage today is my Pontiac G6 with a factory 4-cylinder and a wheelbase of 111. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be taking apart probably this spindle, and we're going to be going through the stuff that I've collected over the years to see what will work on it. So we have a clamp style bottom ball joint. We can maybe cut that down to be a top piece. I don't know if there's going to be enough space. This is where the tricky stuff starts coming in. We might have to put a different ball joint into the bottom of that, and then that's an aluminum control arm. Like this is where the spindle swaps are going to get hard, because you don't really know what you need until you start digging into it. I have end body spindles, but end body spindles, the steering is not actually on the spindle. The steering is on the strut, and I don't have the struts. So we're going to start going through some of the stuff I have and seeing what can be done. Now in the back, I don't really think there's a lot that can be done back here. Like, this is aluminum. Now this is like an extruded aluminum. Now this is a cast aluminum, so there's actually not a whole lot that can be done back here. I'm just going to try to wrap some seat belts around places, maybe get rid of the brakes to try to make it so it's as light as I can. I don't know. The back frame looks pretty intense on this thing, I will say that. So we've already done a little bit of things. We have the gas tank out, we have the exhaust system out, we got the interior stripped, the front windshield, and that's just pretty much about it. But what we're going to be working on today is the spindles. So we're going to be going through and finding what spindles I have and what spindles may work. I don't think Cavaliers are going to work. I don't really have any. Let's go see what I have. So these are GM H bodies. You see how the bottom ball joint is a little different. This one here, it kind of has the nut instead of the clamping style. So that may be a problem, but maybe not. I don't really know. Maybe we can try to put different ball joints into. The Toyota Camry ones I know will not work because of the actual axle. So that's your H body. And then over here, you have Cavalier. Again, same style lower ball joint, just a little bit different, like just a wee bit different. Where's that H body to? That might be H body. No, that's pretty sure that's Cavalier. What else do I got? So you can tell the GMs because usually they are ran by Allen keys on the brakes. But let's go see what else I have. So these here, I believe, are H body as well. They've been back here for quite some time. Now these came out of a 3800. So to put with the 4-cylinder, I might have to change all the bearings. I'm not 100% sure on that. But this one here has got a complete lower ball joint that I can maybe drill holes and put the lower ball joint on. I'm not 100% sure. What else do I have? We'll have to get one of these off and then start taking a look at it. So this shed here is pretty dark. What are you guys? Oh, you're a clamp style. You're clamp lower ball joints. I don't even know what you're out of. But you're coming with me. What are you out of? Those look like 3800 axles. Steering on the knuckle. Clamp lower ball joint. GM. I don't even know what you're out of. Do I have two? Please tell me I have two. There's one. That's a Honda. What are you? You might be Cavalier. No, I'm pretty sure you're Cavalier. Please tell me I have two of these. Why would I keep one? Why would I keep one? Where's the other one? I found the other one. It's face down in the dirt with a broken axle. Oh, how bad do you think these things are going to be? I think they're going to be pretty bad. Well, before I get really upset by trying to pick that one up and work with it, let's go take this one into the garage and see what I can do. Because I'll worry about how much that one's going to cause me pain until I make sure this one's going to actually work. What are these out of? I have no idea, but I can tell that they're GM. And how I can tell that they're GM, like I said earlier, is the Allen keys on the brakes. But for what they're out of, no idea at all. So from a quick look at this, I can see that this axle is a lot larger than this axle. So we're going to start taking this apart. We're going to zip tie up the caliper. We're going to take off the axle. We're going to take the spindle, the brakes off, and then we're going to do the same to this, just to try to get an idea if this will actually work. If that bearing will bolt into this axle, we can party. If it will not, we cannot party. So let's find out if we can party or not. Okay, so this is where we're at. That bearing was too big for that axle, which I kind of assumed that. So we got this one torn right down. We got the brakes off. We got the bearing off. Now, if you guys notice something, GM is very, very cool about this. So I think this is off like a 1990. What was that car I had? Celebrity Wagon. I think this is off a 1990 Celebrity Wagon, or maybe a 90s H-body. To be honest, whenever I find these things on a car and I scrap the cars, they're so rotted, I just scrap the cars and I usually save the spindles because I never know when I'm going to need them. So anyway, I did save these ones, and they're here, and I'm going to use them. So, but what I want to say is this is 90s, and this is like 2010. Now, do you guys want to see the difference between this one and this one? So this is the bearing that I want to keep. It just kind of freaking falls right in there and works. So what we're going to do is I think we have to drill out these holes to make it so that these can go, no, these ones. So on this style, these bolt in like this, but that means I'd have to drill out these and then drill a hole through this. But if I just drill out the actual axle, oh, this is a tough choice. Do I drill a hole in this and then keep these the exact same? Because what happens if I do this a different way and the bearing mounts a different way? Ooh, this is a tough choice. This is a tough choice. If I just drill one hole on my drill press through that, then I can make that hole really big, and then I can put all these through there, just like this one's designed. So then that way, I'm not wrecking this thing for the future. It just has to be that big. All right, well, let me decide what I want to do, because I haven't really decided yet. Frick. Okay, so we have the bearing installed. Now we're going to run into our... forget the drill bits I knocked everywhere. I'll pick those up later. We're going to run into the next problem, and that is the ball joint. That ball joint is a lot bigger than that hole. So the closest drill bit I have is this step bit, and it's still a little loose. So what we're going to do is we're going to pound this step bit through this cast spindle to open that up. I'll probably never be able to use these again on anything except for this, but at this point I'm fine with that. I probably haven't used these in 10 years, so yeah. I held on to them this long. Let's just destroy them. So that wasn't so bad. The great thing about drilling cast is it's actually almost a self-lubricating metal. So now we're going to come into our last problem. And this, oh, that was hot! Whoa, just touched my arm off that. Now this is a problem that's going to take a mini grinder. This width is a lot smaller than this width. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take a mini grinder and actually trim one side of this down. I don't want to do it, but we have to. And then, this is why we don't run aluminum spindles. Do you see that? They say aluminum doesn't rust. It oxidizes. So this spindle is actually rotted away at the top. I don't want to break it yet, but we will probably try to break that with that hammer tonight. And I just got to take a mini grinder and start cutting this thing so that it works. And then we can try to put it in. I want to make sure this fits before we wreck that. I just ran into a problem. I don't have a light on me right now, but I just sucked this axle and it won't turn. It's hitting the top of the ball joint. So we're going to get in there with the Sawzall and try cutting that top of the ball joint out just to give this a little bit more space. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Okay, so here we are with the next problem. We got that lower ball joint cut off. The axle moves freely. So here's our next problem. The brakes are a different offset, and the newer brakes are bigger, so the caliper actually won't fit. You see how it's that, like, these are 14 inch, these are 15 inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to put it right over top, and we're going to line up the center bore, and we're just going to turn it 90. And we're going to re-drill this, brake discs so that it's now the right bolt pattern. I didn't really want to do this because now I got to, what do you call it, find different rims. I actually wanted to run the 5 on 4 and 3/4, but now I'm running like 5 on 110 or something bolt pattern this car is, or I don't even, maybe 112. I don't even know the bolt pattern of this car. It's gonna suck though. Let's get drilling. So, I just kind of drilled those holes bigger. Now, it's really not the most ideal thing, but I'm thinking once the rim's on there, it's gonna kind of compress that and it's not going to be an issue. But we are running the brakes, but now these brakes will fit multiple different bolt patterns. Yeah, I'll go on there. I just need 2 hands for that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to heat up this tie rod, take it off. I just think that's going to bend. I'm not saying like that one's 100 times better, but if you look at them, they're just about the exact same. They're like almost the exact same distance. It's just that it looks like this one's going to bend there in that spot. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat up this tie rod, take it off, heat up this piece, take it out, and then change these around, and then go from there. And then I'm also going to heat up this piece right here so I can get this bolt out without breaking it, because if I break that, I'm kind of pooched. And we're going to take this bolt out and put it on there. Let's get going. So I found a light. Alright, so we got this monstrosity all back together. I got lazy and I didn't use that tie rod. I used the factory tie rods. I used the factory bolts to the strut. I used the factory axle. I used the factory bearing. I used the spindle out of what I think is an H-body, maybe a Celebrity, I don't know. We used the Celebrity brakes, and then the brake line just screwed right into it. And yeah, so we have steel spindles on this. I don't really like how it sticks out a lot farther now. It basically sticks out to the fender line. Is it the same on this side? Yeah, this side here is probably about 1/2 inch sticking out farther. We will have to adjust the tie rods to make sure our toe in and toe out's good, but you can tell by the angle of that strut that it's not exactly set up how she's supposed to be set up. You see how this one's straight vertical and this one's on an angle? But hey, listen, we got steel spindles. We left the factory aluminum lower arms. So we have some crazy rules here. We can do spindle swaps, but we can't change anything else. That's why I was a little nervous of doing the tie rods, but I think the tie rod I could have got away on it because you can change them to like non-OEM stuff as long as they're like, if they're changed from the factory, OEM spec kind of thing. But we can't change the struts, we can't change the axles, but the bearings are the factory bearings, and as far as I'm concerned, this pretty much just bolted right in, is what our rules say. They must bolt in. We do have to fix this one stud though. But what I do not like is I do not like that it is a weird bolt pattern, because I don't really have any rims to run this weird bolt pattern. I would have really liked it to be able to run that wheel bearing, but unfortunately the axles are just a little bit too different. But we do have steel spindles in the front of it now. Now comes the part which is not fun, and that is doing the other side. But at least I have an idea of how to do it now, so I can kind of just refer back and forth. I always try to do one side start to finish and then switch to the other side. But yeah, there we go. You guys seen it? Steel spindle swaps. Now this is not a science, guys. There's no rhyme or reason. Everybody can do these things differently. There's no step-by-step guide. You guys seen me look at 3 different sets of spindles and try to determine which ones I think would work the best, and they turned out to work. I gotta go dig the other one out of the dirt now and do the other side. But guys, you guys can do this to any GMs that have aluminum spindles. It just takes some careful manipulating and figuring out what you want to do, and then try to do it. There's no rules. You guys just got to figure this stuff out and try to do what you can do to get it done. So we're going to do the other side, and we're probably going to do that off camera. I'm pretty hungry for tonight, so hungry now, so that's probably going to be it for me tonight. Might go dig that one out of the dirt and bring it in here. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you right back here later on Zach's Workshop. But we got a half-decent start to the G6 here. I don't know where it's going to go yet, but I would like it to go somewhere. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later on Zach's Workshop.